When I heard the crashing window, the glass breaking or falling to the ground, it just startled me.
Inner city pastor Kevin Ransby was home alone when an intruder broke in. He couldn't find a weapon, so he grabbed a tennis racket and ran downstairs.
I remember yelling, "This is my house," letting someone know that I was there. But it was when I got to the bottom last two steps, I was racing. It was at that time that a man came racing around the corner. And that's when we first saw each other face to face and came eye to eye with each other. I quickly noticed he had a large knife in his hand. It was slow motion it was almost surreal when like I said, when I went and saw the knife. I remember my first thoughts was, I can't believe this is happening. He just was using the knife, and he kept repeatedly just began stabbing and began to stab me to the back of the head, in my neck, right on my spine and my shoulders. The only words he spoke to me was, "Where was your money and where are your keys?" And at that point in time was when the first thought of death came across my mind, and that's when I answered him, "It doesn't matter no more, I'm dead." At that point in time, I remember just putting my head on my kitchen floor, the cold ceramic floor, and closed my eyes and waited to die. I was convinced my life was over.
Thankfully, his wife and children were out of town visiting family. Kevin began to pray for them.
I was praying, God, let Sarah know how much she's meant to me. And I began thinking of my daughter, Caitlin, and I began praying for her that God would be her father. I began praying that my son Noah would always know that living for Jesus was the greatest thing he could ever do. I was praying for Noah. It was almost as if God interrupted my prayer, and I heard the words that they still need you. All of a sudden, everything within me I was infused with energy and hope, and I've got to do something. My insides had come on the outside of me, and I had to pick them up and stand on my feet and begin carrying my intestines, and was able to make it down the steps and get out a side door and make it to a neighbor's house.
His neighbor called 911. When Kevin arrived at the hospital, the doctors discovered he had 37 stab wounds.
My face and my neck and my temple, and my spines and my chest, my abdomen, all throughout my body. Doctors and the nurses, they really didn't think I had any chance of making it. They'd never seen someone come in with so many stab wounds.
Finally, Sarah received word from the hospital.
I had nothing to say but Jesus. And it was like, it wasn't a screaming Jesus, it was just a Jesus, 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 Jesus. It was all I had.
As Kevin underwent surgery, Sarah drove with their children for 7 agonizing hours to the hospital.
It was like a numb feeling. It was like, I can't even feel until I get there.
By the time she arrived, Kevin was out of surgery.
Walking into that room and seeing him for the first time, it was love and thankfulness that, oh my gosh, here's my husband and he is alive.
None of his major organs was damaged, and the recovery only took 5 months.
To have 37 stab wounds and to have no organs and arteries hit to me was just evidence again that God somehow was there keeping me during that struggle.
Kevin has forgiven his attacker, who was arrested a short time later.
I saw the man for the first time in 2 years. My first reaction when I left that courtroom is I went back into the witness room and just began to weep. And it was over him. I made a commitment that I would not hold a grudge against this man. The enemy comes to kill, to steal, and to destroy, and to rob us of hope in a future. God comes to bring just the opposite. There's not a day that goes by that I don't thank him for life. I think for many years I've prayed the prayers, Lord, thanks for waking me up today and for the breath. But those words have real weight and meaning in my life. And Every single day to me is a gift.